Breaking: escalating U.S.-Iran tensions. Implications for global security. Patbao, Global News. Breaking news: tensions between the United States and Iran have sharply escalated recently, igniting global worries about potential conflict across the Middle East. A U.S. naval strike group, including the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, has been sent to the area. Tehran has pledged a strong response to any aggression. Diplomatic leaders are convening, world markets are reacting, and calls for restraint are increasing. Yet the threat of confrontation remains significant. This report will guide you through the current situation, the reasons behind it, and its potential global ramifications. Section 1. Recent developments and AMP, timeline, 0:34 o'clock. Mid-January, early 2026. Tensions escalated due to long-standing disputes regarding Iran's nuclear program, regional security, and internal uprising conflicts. Recent U.S. criticism of Iran's handling of protests and human rights has further fueled these tensions. January 26, 2026. The U.S. positioned a formidable naval force led by the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Middle East. U.S. officials characterized this action as a show of readiness and strategic deterrence. President Donald Trump issued a public warning to Tehran, declaring that time is running out for negotiations, and affirming that military options could be pursued if Iran doesn't consent to terms regarding its nuclear program. Iranian leadership dismissed negotiations conducted under threat, asserting that discussions must happen without pressure or coercion. January 29, 2026. Iranian diplomats engaged in talks with Turkey regarding methods to ease regional tensions, despite the ongoing sharp rhetoric. Throughout these events, Iran announced intentions for live-fire naval exercises near the strategic Strait of Hormuz, indicating readiness to assert its military response to U.S. actions. Section 2. Why tensions have peaked, 4 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Several intersecting factors are driving this escalation. 1. Nuclear negotiations and AMP security demands. The U.S. has made its position clear, seeking Iran to limit its nuclear program and missile capabilities. Iranian officials refuse to negotiate under what they call threats, stressing that diplomacy should be conducted on equitable terms. 2. Internal unrest in Iran. Iran has been enduring significant protests since late December 2025, driven by economic woes, currency devaluation, and growing public dissatisfaction. Widespread condemnation directed at Tehran's crackdown on protests, with reports of high casualties, has fueled Western pressures. 3. Military posturing. Both nations have intensified their military presence. The U.S. has augmented its naval and air assets, while Iran has showcased combat drones and announced drills to indicate its readiness. Section 3. Global security implications, 7 o'clock, 10:30. The consequences of this standoff reach well beyond just Washington and Tehran. Middle East stability. Middle Eastern leaders are calling for restraint. Nations such as Vietnam and others have urged both sides to prevent escalation that could destabilize the area. Major powers, including Russia, have intervened, advocating for diplomatic talks and cautioning that military action could lead to widespread disorder. Risk of proxy conflict. Iran-aligned militias in Iraq and Yemen threatened retaliation against U.S. and allied targets should a direct conflict arise, complicating the geopolitical landscape. Strategic choke points. Strait of Hormuz. The Strait of Hormuz is a crucial global shipping route, facilitating approximately 20–30% of the world's oil daily. Any interruptions, whether from military action or blockades, could impact global trade, energy markets, and international supply chains. Section 4. Economic impact, 10:30–12:30. Global markets are already beginning to respond. Oil prices have surged to multi-month highs as traders anticipate supply disruptions linked to the increasing tensions. Gold and other safe haven commodities are rising as investors seek to safeguard against heightened geopolitical risks. Such market reactions reflect present instability and fears of potential conflict, known as a risk premium. These shifts might have broader implications for inflation, currencies, and global economic confidence. Section 5. Diplomacy vs. confrontation, 1230-1430. In spite of escalating rhetoric, diplomacy remains on the table. Iran is participating in discussions with Turkey and has expressed conditional openness to a fair and equitable nuclear agreement, rejecting negotiations under coercive pressures. Simultaneously, global players like Russia and various non-aligned nations continue to call for restraint and dialogue, warning that military actions would induce more instability than resolution. Analysts view this situation as a form of coercive diplomacy, where military positioning aims to achieve diplomatic outcomes without necessarily triggering immediate conflict. Conclusion and AMP. Future outlook. 1430-15 o'clock. At this point, neither nation seems eager for open warfare, yet both are demonstrating strength and strategic determination. Potential scenarios could include diplomatic de-escalation, ongoing military displays without direct confrontation, localized skirmishes without escalating into full-blown war. What unfolds next will hinge on diplomatic initiatives, political pressures within both countries, and global responses, particularly from regional powers and international organizations. Stay tuned to Patbo Global News for ongoing coverage of this unfolding story. As war warnings grow and diplomacy faces pressure, the world is watching closely. Subscribe to Patbo Global News for daily breaking global news explained clearly without bias. Subscribe to Patbo Global News for daily breaking global news explained clearly without bias. What did you think will happen next? Full scare, war escalation, or diplomacy? Share your thoughts in the comments.